University of Pennsylvania sociology professor Ross Koppel remarks that, quote, on a macro level, the net effects of religion and faith are a few thousand years of horrible wars, genocide, slavery, sexual exploitation, torture, devaluing others as not human, terrorism, and organized hatred. That's a common enough view among the intelligentsia, and the criticism is often directed specifically against Christianity. It is an affectionate history of the Enlightenment as the rise of modern paganism. The historian Peter Gay presents the movement as, quote, a great campaign against Christianity. Gay describes David Hume on his deathbed, lamenting that he had failed to free his countrymen from, as Hume put it, the Christian superstition. Hume worried that the English were, quote, relapsing into the deepest stupidity, Christianity, and ignorance. So successful were Enlightenment thinkers like Hume and Voltaire in associating Christianity with ignorance and intolerance, that the association has become, in many literary or intellectual circles, at least virtually an axiom that later polemicists have been able to rely on pretty much free of effort or risk. So intellectuals can speak sneeringly about Christians or Christian institutions, thereby signaling their own sophistication and their noble commitment to freedom, tolerance, and reason without fear of being seriously challenged by their peers. Indeed, the culture despisers can express their disdain, and have been expressing it over and over again for decades and even centuries, and ironically can still somehow suppose themselves to be exhibiting a kind of avant-garde courage and independence of mind. But a different judgment is also available. David Bentley Hart asserts that even the most ardent secularists among us generally cling to notions of human rights, economic and social justice, providence for the indigent, legal equality, or basic human dignity, the pre-Christian Western culture would have found not so much foolish as unintelligible. It is simply the case that we distant children of the pagans would not be able to believe in any of these things. They would never have occurred to us had our ancestors not once believed that God is love, that charity is the foundation of all virtues, that all of us are equal before the eyes of God, that to fail to feed the hungry or care for the suffering is to sin against Christ, and that Christ laid down his life for the least of his brethren. I won't try to adjudicate here between Hume's and Hart's assessments, but it's a question to keep in mind as we move from the ancient world into more contemporary issues.